see a real peach? Not one of them fake ones?
And welcome back to the Oklahoma Today podcast. I'm your host, Ben Lucian, and I am not a tiny dinosaur in a trench coat. But if I were, I would be the Aquilops americanus, a rabbit-sized herbivore with some interesting Oklahoma ties. The Aquilops has had a big star turn recently thanks to an appearance in the new Jurassic World movie. Our very own editor-in-chief Nathan Gunter sat down with Dr. Jacqueline Lungmus from the Sam Noble Museum in Norman to learn more about the Aquilops and some of the other very interesting dinosaurs in their collection. We'll hear from them in a moment, but first, a friendly reminder to please hit subscribe if you've not already done so. Chris and I recently had a great trip to the Okana Resort and Water Park. That episode will be coming up here shortly, and you don't want to miss it, so please hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of that. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and pitch it to Nate to learn more about our favorite new dinosaur.
Welcome. We are here with Dr. Jacqueline Lungmus. She is a paleontologist at the Sam Noble Museum at the University of Oklahoma in Norman. Dr. Lungmus, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. So fun.
So we have this new Jurassic World movie out, and one of the dinosaurs, Aquilops, has a really cool Oklahoma connection. What can you tell us about Aquilops?
So Aquilops' connection to Oklahoma is that it was found by researchers associated with the Sam Noble Museum of Natural History here in Oklahoma. The Sam Noble Museum is actually the state museum, the State Natural History Museum of Oklahoma. And it is on campus with the University of Oklahoma. And I, as a curator there, am also faculty at the University of Oklahoma. But it also really does function as its own separate kind of institution as the state repository and the State Natural History Museum. And it was researchers who were working at that museum who were conducting their normal fieldwork in Montana who actually originally found this dinosaur. And so we now have the original fossil of that is housed at our museum, and it was described out of our museum, and the researchers that specialize in it were with us.
That is amazing. Have you seen the film? Have you watched Aquilops in action?
No, I can't say I have. I only just got back from a trip, so I'm a little behind the eight ball on that.
You work with the real thing all day long. That'd be like going to eat dinner at the restaurant where you wait tables. It might be a little much. So what was Aquilops like?
Aquilops is a
dinosaur, was it?
Yeah, it's a funny little dinosaur. So one of the things that's noticeable about it most right off the bat is its size. It is pretty unique in part because of what a small body size it has. It was probably around the size of a house cat. That's obviously kind of brought to its fullest potential in the movie, where that's kind of the whole point, is that this dinosaur, even in its adult size, is small enough that you could carry it around kind of like you could a pet. We tend to think about dinosaurs, of course, as being these ginormous, expansive, terrifying and awe-inspiring animals, but dinosaurs ranged incredibly in their size, going all the way from the smallest dinosaurs being the size of birds today, like a chicken kind of size, all the way up to the ginormous animals that we kind of more popularly imagine. But Aquilops itself was kind of like the size of a large rabbit on the small end or a large house cat on the big end. And the specimen that we have actually is only known from this one fossil that we found. So we've only ever found this one, and we've never found more of it.
Wow.
It's known from primarily skull material, which is exciting because actually you mostly need the skull material to describe a new dinosaur, to define it as a new animal. But it means that, there's still a lot about it that we don't know for sure and don't understand about what the rest of its skeleton kind of would have looked like.
Sure. Are there any dinosaurs that we might that are kind of in the popular imagination that Aquilops that is related to or might remind people of?
For sure. So one of the reasons that Aquilops is a really noteworthy dinosaur is it's actually part of this larger group called the Neoceratopsians. So ceratopsian being kind of famously for like triceratops, things like that.
Oh, okay.
These are dinosaurs that had horns and frills, and they, lived for a really, really long period of time. But Aquilops is interesting because It is the first branch of this, what would become really expansive group of dinosaurs in North America. So we know that ceratopsians and the group they belong to, this large group called Marginocephalia, which basically is a complicated way of saying these dinosaurs are defined by they have this protection around their neck, basically. They have like a frill kind of.
Okay.
They originally evolved in Asia and then they moved throughout the rest of the world from there. So the very, very oldest representatives we know are from the Chinese fossil record. But Aquilops represents the first, by which I mean like the oldest known North American ceratopsian dinosaur. It's also noteworthy to that point that it's so small because it tells us something about what the beginning size range of these dinosaurs were.
Sure.
Ceratopsians, like Pentaceratops and Triceratops, got kind of charismatically ginormous, but started as these really small, kind of dainty dinosaurs.
It's funny that you mentioned Pentaceratops and that it's cool that Aquilops is at Sam Noble because Pentaceratops is also at Sam Noble.
Yes,
And
and
the
it's not the
largest,
only, yeah, exactly. It's not the only known Pentaceratops, but we happen to have the largest Pentaceratops skull, and it holds the Guinness Book of World Records for like the largest known single skull. Pentaceratops wasn't the largest animal by any like
right?
that ever lived by any stretch, but this single expansive skull, and when you include the big frill in the back, is like the largest single skull specimen that we've ever known from an animal.
So you have one of the largest ceratopsian skull and
Yeah.
one of the smallest.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
exactly. We
amazing.
have the smallest and oldest North American, and then Pentaceratops is quite a later animal too. So you kind
Sure.
of see that range of like this kind of runaway evolution of the pressure for these animals to get bigger and more dramatic. And we think that the frills probably originally evolved largely for protection, but really quickly would have been overtaken by evolutionary pressure to sort of show off and to
Oh,
use it
yeah.
as a display mechanism. That's the thing with animals is it's we like to think about elk antlers and like things that maybe is being something like that they use to fight or to defend themselves or things like that. But for the most part, you look at something like an elk or a deer, it's almost always a signaling thing to other animals of their own species to like just be like, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it's not, not that they wouldn't, if a T-Rex was in the way and it bit into the frill as opposed to the neck, like that's a good day for that Pentaceratops. But we don't think that the singular evolutionary pressure for these animals was defense, basically.
This is one of my favorite things about talking about dinosaurs. And one of the things that I think is so cool about paleontology is that I think because we all grew up seeing these things in movies and in books and nowhere else, um, whole, like, we've seen the skeletons at the museums
Yeah.
and things, but you've never seen a dinosaur alive.
Yes.
Um,
Besides birds.
I was gonna say we could talk about birds. That's a different deal.
Yeah.
But to I think sometimes we lose the fact that they were animals.
For sure. All my degrees and all my training is in evolutionary biology. I'm trained primarily as a zoologist and an anatomist. That's kind of and I always try to approach all my research questions and all my thinking from very much that perspective of these are animals. How would they have lived in their environment? How would they have lived their lives? The Jurassic Park movies do a really important job, I think, of not only reminding us kind of that these were real things or were animals and making us think about how they would have moved through the world. But it also draws attention to something that is kind of like a pet fascination of mine, which is the really important and unique relationship between the visual arts and vertebrate paleontology. And it exists because of what you just said. We can't see a dinosaur in real life. So from the get-go, going back to like our earliest conceptualizations of dinosaurs, they've been accompanied by paintings and drawings and art attempting to visualize what these animals would have looked like in space. And this, newer Jurassic Park movies are just another iteration of that. It's another iteration of this creative endeavor to think about how these things that we only know of from their anatomy would have existed and moved through space as living organisms.
It's so funny to think about. I've got this, hang on. I've got this T-Rex on my desk.
Yes.
And I've had him since I was 6. I've had him since the 80s. And I always tell people how funny it is, how wrong he is because he's dragging his tail.
Yep, dragging his tail. Also, We know that they're a little bit girthier now. Like they would have
Yeah.
had yeah, and would have been just very top heavy, and then that tail would have had to exist as sort of a counterweight. I think about those like um ducks or whatever that are on a balance that will like tip back and forth. Like it's the same
Yeah.
idea of you have these like two legs and then these two sort of weights that are trying to counter each other constantly and just keep balance and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember hearing that. The thing you said about the arts was really fascinating because I remember watching a special when I was a kid with Christopher Reeve on TV about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And them talking about the tail dragging thing and how old depictions of dinosaurs always pictured them dragging their tails along the
Mhm.
ground, and
Yeah.
how the art feeds the science and the science feeds the art
Yes.
is so interesting, isn't
It
it?
really is. No, it is. And especially the way that it feeds into that point to the public, the public conceptualization and imagination of dinosaurs. It was a really important revolution in, um, I guess it would have been the late 1800s when we started, artists, I should say, started working more closely with the paleontologists and were like asking for feedback. So
Oh,
Charles Knight is
yeah.
a very famous early paleo artist. He worked at the American Museum, and he was one of these first artists who's famous for painting and drawing dinosaurs really active, like in active scenes,
Yeah.
fighting, doing, things like that, and played a really important role in popularizing these animals as predators, as like, the animals that didn't just like sit in mud and walk around
Right.
and like, yeah, things like that. And so,
Yeah.
um, and in these days, a lot of paleo artists have to be trained in really complicated. I mean, a lot of them have a background training in things like anatomy and
Yeah.
skeletal form and things like to try to think about how you realistically take a set of bones and you like drape a body on top of that, basically.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And I think too about the kind of the paleontologist dilemma of, you talked about things like deer antlers and things like that, like dinosaurs potentially having features that didn't fossilize.
Oh yeah, and what's funny is that we're getting better and better, for lack of a better word. I mean, just as technology improves,
Hmm.
and especially our field techniques, we get better at when we find stuff in the field, like taking it out of the ground in a way that's really careful. We're getting better at identifying and being like, oh, wait, that might be something that we need to. Whereas before, we might have just kind of been like, oh, it's just rock. And now we're realizing that it's skin impression or it's
Oh,
fossilized collagen. A classic is like the preservation of melanosomes in fossil bird feathers. And then the work that's showing us that we can, based off of, because there's like, all colors are basically a combination of a couple of primary sets of colors, and
mhm.
those have different physical chemical structures. And so you can look down at the kind of cellular level and you can tell like this feather was red or this feather was yellow.
That's
And
amazing.
you can then accurately reconstruct some of these feather dinosaurs like down to the level of their color, which when that study came out, that was the coolest. It was so
That is
cool.
so flipping cool.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. Um, did you did you have a moment when because like for me it was that Christopher Reeve thing. Like I saw that on
Mhm.
TV and I was hooked forever. Did you have a moment like that? What was your like I love dinosaurs and I will love dinosaurs forever moment as a kid?
So that's a great. I don't usually have people ask me about what people ask me, how did you get into this all the time?
Yeah.
For me, the broader answer to that question is that I've always been obsessed with animals. For me, growing up, it was dogs and horses. I only
Mhm.
cared about dogs and horses. And I always joke that a lot of scientists, they have like um a gateway, not, it can be a topic, but a lot of times it's like a thing that is a marker that as a parent, you can look back and be like, oh, that's how I should have known that my kid was going to do this one day. My version of that was that I used to have my parents buy me for Christmas and things like that encyclopedias of dog breeds. And I would sit and read these
That's
encyclopedias and I
awesome.
would like memorize the facts about like how big they were supposed to be and their coloring and what the breed. I still know like the breed standards of
Oh
all
my
of these
gosh, we would have
blood
been BFFs
dogs.
in elementary
Yeah.
school. We
But
totally would have.
what's
I love
funny is that that's basically just like a type of taxonomy, and it's a way to categorize living organisms in ways that allow us to kind of better understand and compare them. And so it's funny looking back and being like, oh, that was like the
it.
marker, that was the canary in the coal mine that I was gonna
Yeah.
like be into this type of stuff. And so for like entomologists, it's always like I loved, bugs, or I was things like that. Or there's always, if you ask most scientists, they do have, it might not be like this was my moment of like my light bulb moment, but they have a thing that they're like, oh yeah, my weird thing when I was a kid was that like I was obsessed with like this thing, and my parents didn't get it. And then it's funny because I'll meet parents and they always want to introduce me to their eccentric kids, and they're usually very apologetic about their eccentric kid. And
Oh,
I'm always like, listen, like, if anything, foster that. Like, I was that crazy
totally.
person who, like, I was like a 7-year-old sitting around memorizing encyclopedias about horse breeds and dog breeds. And now, like, here I am. So, just being, it's hard when you're little and you're trying to understand like why it scratches your brain the right way. But eventually, my other thing too is that I've always been a big collector. I don't like throwing stuff out.
Oh,
I don't like
okay.
I get very sentimentally attached to objects, and it's only in my more recent adult life that I'm like, oh, of course I became a curator. Like my whole life now is basically just like people will be like, oh, don't throw that out, and I'll be like, I'm a curator. I don't throw things out for a living. Like, yeah. So,
You're not a
yeah,
hoarder, you're a curator.
yeah, exactly,
I
totally.
like this.
Yes,
I like this.
yeah.
That's what I'm going to tell someone next time they tell me I need to clean my house. Um, So the Sam Noble is an absolute treasure. I am so jealous you get to be there every day because it's one of my favorite places in the whole state. There's Aquilops, who's very cool. It's kind of the new, like kind of new dino just dropped on the Oklahoma scene a little bit. But there's some very cool Oklahoma dinosaurs in Sam Noble. There's the Clash of the Titans exhibit, obviously. There's Deinonychus. There's so many. Can you talk about some of the other dinosaurs? That come from Oklahoma, because I don't think people understand how cool how rich our tapestry is when it comes to
They
dinosaurs.
really don't. And even I, as somebody who doesn't do most of my research on dinosaurs, it was something that I didn't appreciate about the state before I came here. And what's funny is that Oklahoma's fossil record is really unique in the sense that it spans a huge range of geologic time.
Hmm.
So on one end of the state, you can go and you can be in the late Carboniferous 310 million years ago, looking for some of the first animals that walked on land and some of the first animals that ever ate plants.
Hmm.
And then you can go all the way through, and on the other side of the state, you're finding like camels and ground sloths and woolly
Yeah,
mammoths. And then you get all this stuff in between of dinosaurs and things like that. So it's one of the things that makes working in Oklahoma unique and fun, also kind of challenging because you sort of have to be like a little bit of a jack of all trades.
sure.
In
Yeah.
terms of our dinosaur record, we have virtually no Triassic record, but we have a really good
Mhm.
late Jurassic and early Cretaceous record, which is where most of our famous dinosaurs come from. Um, Quite classically, we have two large apex predators that we're kind of famous for, and we're lucky. We have the state dinosaur, which is Acrocanthosaurus
Mhm.
atokensis. It's named after Atoka
Yeah.
County, Oklahoma. And it's actually my favorite dinosaur. And that predates my time here in Oklahoma. That was a coincidence of me getting this job.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And so,
Have you been down to Idabel and seen the specimen down there?
no, I haven't gotten to.
It's
We've
very
been
cool.
working, yeah, trying to figure out, and then my friend, one of my mentors is curator at North Carolina where they have Fran. And then
Oh, cool.
there's a lot of really great collection at the Southern Methodist University collection that I have some colleagues that are familiar with. We're trying to we have the holotype. So we have like the first one and we have the
Yeah.
dictionary definition of it, but we don't have a good display specimen. And so that's something that I've been trying to figure out how to
Mhm.
like get us something that we could put on display to be
Cool.
like, this is the state dinosaur. Because then we do have our state fossil is the other one, which is the Saurophaganax,
Yeah.
which is, kind of nomen dubium. We don't really know for sure whether it's its own animal or if it's just a really large Allosaurus.
Yeah.
Regardless, quite interestingly, both of these dinosaurs belong to the group Allosaurids, not Tyrannosaurids. So they're
Yeah.
cousins of T-Rexes, which is interesting that I don't think we have any Tyrannosaurids from the Oklahoma record, but we have a phenomenal Allosaurid record.
That's awesome.
The three-fingered, like meat-eating dinosaurs. And then, yeah, you talked about Deinonychus being Raptorian, Dromaeosaurid dinosaurs. And
Yeah.
then we also have the best Tenontosaurus skeletons in the world. We have multiple of those. We're
Yeah.
the only collection that has like every bone in the body from tip of the nose to last bone in the tail.
And
And
that's a duck-billed.
it is. It's an early duck-billed dinosaur. Yeah,
Okay.
really cool, kind of basal iguanodontian, if I remember correctly.
Oh, very cool.
And also a decent number of juveniles of those. They tend to be found in mixed age group assemblies, and so we often get adults and subadults and babies together in single
Wow.
beds, if you will. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
And that's down, and some of that was in the same place as Acrocanthosaurus. Is that right? Like
Yeah,
that's
it's a lot of it's from the Antlers Formation, which is
that's right.
far southeastern Oklahoma. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we talked about this a little bit before, but Aquilops came from what's called the Cloverleaf Formation, and isn't that the
Mhm.
same place the Saurophaganax came from?
No, so we don't have cloverleaf. So
We don't have Cloverleaf in in Oklahoma.
we do not, is my
Okay,
understanding. Yeah,
okay,
cloverleaf is Wyoming and
okay,
Montana, and then I don't even think it goes into Colorado. It might go into the Dakotas a little bit.
okay,
And actually, what I'm thinking about, uh, yeah, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah of the
okay.
Western United States. And what's interesting is that my predecessor was working in the area, also doesn't work on dinosaurs. We joke that dinosaurs are like our occupational hazard. They're kind of like, I have to know a lot about them because of things like this, but that's
Yeah,
not what I'm like writing grants about or publishing on.
right.
He was in the Cloverleaf because he's interested in the mammals that lived at the same time as the
Oh,
dinosaurs.
cool.
So he's usually looking for these little microvertebrates, like tiny little mammal teeth or mammal skulls. And so that's why he was always in the Cloverleaf. And then he would like accidentally stumble upon some cool dinosaur that, of
Oh, that's
course,
amazing.
became like the most important thing he's ever found or whatever. And he's like, cool, whatever. So,
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
yeah.
Wow. I love the idea of dinosaurs as an occupational hazard. That's so cool.
Right. Yeah.
Hilarious. Oh,
To know a lot
found a
about.
dinosaur.
Yeah. Well, kind of, and it just kind of being like, you just know before, at least now, I'm a steward of a collection that includes a lot of really important dinosaurs. When
Mhm.
I was in grad school and I was a postdoc at the Smithsonian and things like that, that's the default is people want to ask you about dinosaurs, and it would get, you don't want to say annoying because it's like you're always happy to talk about what you work on, but it's overcoming that hurdle of getting people to understand that like dinosaurs are just this one blip of
Right.
organisms. I think it's especially hard. Like I'm at least a vertebrate paleontologist. My colleagues that are invertebrate paleontologists, people will be like dinosaurs, and they're like, "No, I work on clams, and I swear they're really cool, and here's why." And people are like, "Well, whatever." And so like at least I could be like, oh, but like the mammals that lived at the same time as whatever. And but I've had to learn, at least now I have the justification of being like, oh, well, I represent and I want to teach about and I want to expand kind of the profile
Yeah.
of the museum. And we're so famous for so many of our great dinosaurs. They're what kind of get people, we talk about them being the like forward facing part of the museum. They're kind of
Yeah.
the like outward looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier about that's the one that people have never seen. Like I've seen
Mm,
a clam, right? Like I want to talk about the one that I've never seen. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that just lends some of the fascination.
Thought about it that
So
way. Yeah.
the Sam Noble is 25 years old this year.
The building.
The building.
Yes.
The
The
museum has been around
institution is
much
much
longer.
older.
The building is 25 years old this year. What a treasure that place is. Do you have a favorite spot in there? Something that you hope when visitors come that they will be sure not to miss?
Um, I really like upstairs in the natural wonders section, which is kind of can be thought of as like the taxidermy area where we have
Yeah.
farm living animals and we have different ecosystems built. If you walk through it to the back, it's not a loop. So if you walk in, you have to walk out the same way you came in. But if you walk all the way to the back of it, you actually get to a balcony area that looks down on top of Clash of the Titans. So you're standing at eye level with the Apatosaurus.
Oh,
Its
cool.
skull is like up and it's built so that it sort of is like looking kind of into the elevator. But the other thing it's looking onto is that little balcony platform that you can kind of look
Okay.
down and from on top of these big dinosaurs. And it's always funny when people notice other people up there because they're always kind of like, "Oh, how did you get up there?" And it's just you have to kind of walk through natural wonders, but you get this really, it's always really quiet back
Hmm.
there. And there's a couple
Okay.
benches and you get kind of a fun alternate view of the big main hall. We
I
do
love
it.
that because I've done that elevator ride up to the top of
Yes.
Clash of the Titans so many times and I love it. But this is going to be, I've never seen this view, so I'm going to have to go look.
Yeah. So imagine like when you're looking out the elevator, there's just like a little standing area you can kind of see, but you're right, because the elevator, like you're in there for a finite amount of time. You got to like
Right.
get in, get out. And then, so yeah, same idea.
Oh, that's good advice. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Lungmus, thank you so much for talking to us today. What a joy, what a delight the Sam Noble
Well, thank
is.
you. Yes.
And we can't. If you've never been to Oklahoma, really, you have to go. It is one of the absolute coolest places in this entire state. Take every kid you know of every age and go to the Sam Noble. It is amazing. samnoblemuseum.ou.edu is the website if you want to learn more.
I
Dr.
always
Lungmus,
remain, yeah, really surprised by how many people I met who haven't been down there. We also really fast wanted to say that we wanted to plug that we are having in celebration of this an actual Aquilops Day on
yay!
so on the 19th of July from museum opening through the early afternoon, we're having a bunch of outreach and programming that's put on associated with just this dinosaur
Oh, cool.
and talk about it. And there's going to be researchers out to answer questions and some fun activities. And I think if I remember correctly, through the month of July, we're doing that thing where if you like bring in one of those pop cans that has Aquilops in it,
Yeah.
discount for getting in and things
Oh,
like
nice.
that. But yeah, we have some really fun programming around this animal this month and around this important find that's finally kind of getting the attention it deserves. And so I would encourage anybody to like go to our website, look at our calendar, look at the type of stuff that's going on, and know that on the 19th on Saturday, we'd love to see everybody come down and celebrate this kind of cool animal with us.
I love it. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go see the movie first just so I know exactly what I'm looking for.
I should do that too.
Dr. Longmas, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. It
Have a
was great.
great day.
In Oklahoma, art plays an essential role in bringing communities together, enhancing quality of life for Oklahomans, and positively impacting our economy. The Oklahoma Visual Arts Coalition is a nonprofit that helps develop the Oklahoma visual arts community through education, promotion, connection, and funding. Since 1988, OVAC has closely worked with Oklahoma artists, educators, organizations, and communities to ensure visibility and opportunity while promoting public interest in the arts across the state. To learn more about how the Oklahoma Visual Arts Coalition supports artists and to personally contribute to a growing Oklahoma arts scene, visit OVAC, OVAC-OK.org and follow OVAC on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. Well, that was a really interesting interview, and it's so many people as kids, you know, you think about digging up dinosaurs, and it's cool to hear from someone who actually followed through, and they are a paleontologist, you know? So yeah, that was really cool, and she did touch on the Aquilops Day that they're going to be doing on Saturday coming up. And I think that sounds like a really cool way, if you saw the movie, sort of extend your movie experience with a new educational opportunity about it. The Great Aquilops.
And who doesn't love an excuse to go to the Sam Noble Museum?
Exactly,
right?
yes.
Well, and you know a lot of kids who saw that movie are probably obsessed with that little tiny dinosaur.
Exactly, yeah. I'm sure I would be, I probably would have had, there's probably action figures of the Aquilops by now.
I haven't even seen the movie yet, and I'm already obsessed with a rabbit-sized dinosaur.
Yeah.
I just
Hello?
like its name, Aquilops.
I know, it's a good
It
dinosaur.
sounds, yeah, it sounds candy,
Right.
but it's not.
It's a dinosaur.
Well, you should know us by now, but if you're new to the program, we have our senior editor, Carly Barra, photo editor, Megan Rossman, and research editor, Kirsten Stone here. Nate is unable to join us today, but we thank him for contributing the interview. This is the part of the show, question of the week. Now, if you've been watching the show for a while, you know I try to theme the question of the week based on the guest. That didn't happen this time. We had a dinosaur-themed one, and we've asked in the last year, I think, what is your favorite dinosaur? So I didn't really want to repeat that. So we're going to change it up. It's summertime, so let's just talk about the summer. And one of the best parts about summer is
Water.
You're asking the wrong
I'm asking the wrong panel.
That it ends at some point.
Yes. Kirsten, what's the best part about summer?
That you can go outside, that you can play in water.
Yes.
That you
The
can
water, that's the best.
mainly just go
water.
play outside.
And
Just go play outside.
you know where you can play in the water sometimes is at a cookout, which is where I am taking question of the week this time. I love a good summer cookout. I've had several in my life the past couple of weeks, and that got me thinking about what are some of the essentials, the must-haves from an Oklahoma cookout. So that is our question of the week this time. What are your must-haves for these cookouts? Senior editor Carly Barra, have you given it much thought?
I have. I've given it a lot of thought, like I do most things.
Yes.
And to make it full circle, one of the Aquilops' descendants, chicken. Who doesn't love chicken at a cookout?
Chicken is kind of a dinosaur.
Yeah, but also on the non-food side, bug spray and citronella candles are absolutely must-have.
I was going to say bug spray.
Those are good ones, yes. I was just thinking that the other day we were shooting off fireworks for the 4th of July, and we were doing it in like a pitch black dark. And I was like, man, some tiki torches would come in handy right now. And they'd also keep the bug spray, which the bugs are kind of a problem right now because of all the rain we've been having. Megan, what about you? Must-haves.
I think along with bug spray and chairs, some sort of seating.
Of course.
Because God forbid that I stand. I would say mayonnaise-based salads are pretty
okay,
essential, like pasta salads, potato salads. You need mayonnaise-based salads or tabbouleh.
Macaroni salad.
Like,
Oh,
I know
that's
tabbouleh is not mayonnaise-based, but salads that are not lettuce-based, perhaps I should say, like more exciting salads.
Ambrosia.
Are your
Ambrosia.
salads being kept indoors though? Because if those are outdoors, they don't need to be for very long.
No.
You need an oil-based one.
That's true. Well,
Yeah.
you can either maybe you cook outside but eat indoors, or you just bring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I mean, I'm not eating anywhere outside where I don't have access to inside, like,
Yeah.
like I have
That's
to,
very true.
I don't know, yeah.
Megan's must-have is inside.
Air conditioning.
Yes, no, I need to
Right.
be able to go inside if I choose to. So, yes, mayonnaise-based salads can come with me. They can come inside. And
So you're not a fan of mustard potato salad?
I will eat it, but,
But you want more mayonnaise.
Why not both?
yeah.
You could have both.
I mean, but see, in my potato salad, I use mustard and mayonnaise and dill and hard-boiled eggs and some other. I don't make potato salad very often. But that's my preference. That's how I prefer other
I'm
people
not sure
make
I've
it.
ever made potato salad.
I have.
It's not
I'd
that
buy it.
hard.
It's a delicate balancing act with getting the potatoes soft enough, but not so soft that they fall apart when you start mixing them.
Yeah.
So
What kind of potatoes do you usually use?
just russet potatoes.
Oh,
Why? What kind are you supposed to
I
use?
that's fine. I usually use like little, like new potatoes.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I was just
Do you
curious.
peel them?
No, I like to have.
Really?
I like to have the skin on.
Interesting.
All right. Well,
We could talk more about this.
Stay through on future episodes. All right, Kirsten, what's your must-have?
An activity.
Oh,
If you don't have a pool, get
Yeah, I like this.
cornhole or something that
I like
people
this.
can play. Because people are always cooking. There's always food, whether you're having like barbecue or hamburgers or hot dogs or chicken or whatever. There's always someone taking care of food, but you need something to do for the people who are not cooking and who are waiting, or like if you have kids running around, you
Yeah.
need an activity.
And I feel like that's a good thing to have if you're having more of if it's more of a friend gathering party where you might have social circles interacting that don't usually. That's a good icebreaker to have, some sort of activity.
Yes. A shared purpose
Yes.
for your group.
Yes.
Maybe-
Or beer.
That can be a group activity.
It brings people together.
It is, yeah. There's games you can play with that too. I don't know
Yeah.
if we need to get into that. Though.
What are you
Yes,
bringing?
everyone already knows beer is the great uniter.
That's true. Yeah, we don't need to hide that.
So besides beer, what are you bringing to the cookout, Ben?
I had a few ideas. One that the first thought I had was head country barbecue sauce. Yes, just for the you need. What is so funny about
So
that?
I love the idea of you showing up with just like a single bottle of barbecue sauce.
And I'm not sharing either. That's just for me. That's just for me. I need my own supply. Also, ice. Ice is so important.
yes.
But you
That's
can't-
true.
Don't just get any old ice. You got to get the Sonic ice. You can go to Sonic and get a bag of the Sonic ice. And that is just so much better than the bag you'll buy at the gas station or whatever.
Everybody loves that nugget ice.
It's got the
Where do you
texture.
buy Sonic ice?
Sonic.
At Sonic.
Oh, okay.
At Sonic,
Well,
yes.
yeah. Oh, okay.
You just you tell them. You just bring them up and you say, "Bring me a bag of ice."
Order it on the app too.
Oh, okay.
I-
You probably can.
Oh,
Yeah. I bet you
Research
can.
editor doing real-time research.
They're in the 21st century now. We would go to Chris, but we don't really want to hear from him today.
No,
He probably brings potato salad with raisins in it or something.
he probably doesn't
Ew.
bring anything. He probably just brings a bottle of barbecue sauce.
his own.
No, the real reason we're not talking to Chris is due to technical issues. But more from Chris later. We love hearing from Chris. And now, well, I guess I will pivot from question of the week because we don't have, we weren't able to get any online social media answers. But if you have something that you want to bring to the great Oklahoma Today fictitious cookout, leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Maybe we'll even read some next week.
Especially if you have a recipe.
Yeah, absolutely. Weigh in on the potato salad here. What are we doing? Mustard or mayonnaise?
Raisins?
Raisins?
No.
I'm telling you guys,
No.
both.
It's like a
You can
raisin
do
bun.
mustard and mayonnaise.
Well, now pivoting from question of the week, we're going to go ahead and do podvents. This is the part of the show where we go through the travelok.com event calendar and pick out a few of our favorite gyms. And who is going first this week is the main question.
I'll go.
Carly's going to go.
Sweet. So I don't know about you guys, but I love a world's largest anything. If you
Okay.
slap world's largest on
Yeah,
the side
you
of
got my
a,
attention
yeah,
instantly.
you've got my attention. And in Duncan, July 18th through the 20th, there's going to be the world's largest garage sale. There's not really a specific location because it's just Duncan. Everywhere in Duncan, there will be garage
Yeah.
sales. At the regular stores, there will be sidewalk sales. It's just going to be sales everywhere.
Sales.
And it's free, obviously, to browse. Prices depend on, the prices of the garage sales and stuff. So, but you're free to negotiate. In fact, I encourage you to negotiate. It's good practice. Even if you can afford that 50 cents, you get that thing for a quarter.
We need to bring back bartering.
We do. That's absolutely, I think that would be a super fun thing to show up to the world's largest garage sale with like something very small and see like how much you can upgrade it throughout
Yes.
the day. But if you just want to, browse and find some like antiques or something, I'm sure you can find some stuff in Duncan. If you need more information than that, I don't know why you would. You can go to facebook.com/visit Duncan OK, and it'll tell you generally where to go. There's like a couple Duncan shopping guides that you can pick up, but in general, you're just going to be driving around just looking for sales. So have fun.
Very cool. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun and a good place to pick up those odds and ends that you're searching for.
Yes, and if you find anything cool, please send us pictures. I love seeing
Yes.
pictures of people's
Yes.
weird garage sale finds.
OKTpod@travelok.com. We will definitely hear from you. Kirsten, did you find an answer about the Sonic Ice?
I didn't see it on the app, but I did see a cup of ice.
Okay.
So
Wait. Okay. You can order a cup of ice from the app?
yeah,
Okay.
just
that's
a cup.
That's cool. I guess you can bring several of those cups.
Yeah, then you're already like prepped for it. You know, you just put your drink in
You
the
know
cup.
what? If someone just had a cup of ice, Sonic Ice, at their party, that'd be pretty cool. Like I'd just chew on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but enough about Sonic Ice.
I don't know enough about Sonic Ice
You
to
don't
understand
know about
this.
Sonic Ice? It's
Well,
just
it's
very.
in-
All right, we're gonna get Megan a cup of ice.
It's in.
It has a
I'm
different
just
texture.
It also theoretically takes longer to melt than other types of ice. I
Yeah.
don't know if there's been studies done on this. If you know of one, please let us know. But yeah, it's beloved.
Yeah. It's
many
more than
reasons.
just crushed ice, or maybe it's a placebo effect. I have
Yeah.
no idea. But anyway, Kirsten, what is your event this time?
Well, my event is going to be a positively good time because
Okay.
it's the Oklahoma City Cat Club Cat Show.
Nice.
I
That's
see what
fun.
you did there.
I think I've been to that.
You'll know all about it.
I wouldn't
if
surprise me that Megan's been there.
Yeah, it seems right up your alley. You can take your cats to this one.
Oh,
It'll
I'm
be
not gonna.
Well, it'll be July 19th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Payne County Expo Center in Stillwater. You can find more information and everything else I'm about to tell you at the shows and events page. If you find the event there at cfa.org, or you can call 281-379-3897 just to go ahead and get contact info out of the way. But you can enter both pedigree or household cats. There'll be on-site vendors if you want to search, kind of wander around or meander, I guess, and like purchase some pet-related items if you want to get anything for your cats. You can also adopt a cat at this event. If you don't have one, but you just like cats, you can go and see them, see who wins a prize, and whatever categories are there. But you can also take a cat home. You can adopt one. So it'll be great.
Okay.
And as a special event this time, there is a cat costume contest,
Oh.
which I think sounds very interesting.
For the cats are wearing the costumes, or the people are dressing like
Yeah,
cats.
that's
You know,
I
I don't
hope
know.
it's
It just
not the
says
latter.
cat costume contest,
Okay.
so I think the cats are wearing the costume.
Oh, okay.
Would be
Since we're
creepy.
judging cats, I think we're judging them.
That would make a little more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope that is.
Although I could see it either way.
I'm
Yeah.
showing up as Rum Tum Tugger, no matter what happens. So
I just dress like the Cat in the Hat wherever I go.
Oh,
I'm
that's-
always ready for the cat costume contest.
That's eerie.
Well, you can go and you can have a positively good time, like I said, and you can check out which contestant will have like the cutest paw pads, the best stripes, who's going to have the most unique coloring on their coats. But it'll be great, and you can take your cats, Megan.
Yes.
the cutest paw pads is the cutest category of pet show thing I've ever heard.
Traveling with cats. That's not. I'm not gonna bring. They're not like, oh, fun. Let's go somewhere.
Have
They're.
you seen these backpacks where you put the cat in the
Yes.
bag?
I have seen that. Yeah.
Would you ever do that? with your
No,
cats?
I think there would be. I don't think it would be a good idea for my cats. They would be afraid.
Yeah.
They would pee on it and worse.
I think it's cool, but yeah, I've never met a cat that I could confidently put into the bag, probably.
Cats really don't like to be put in bags and carried around.
Yes.
But
they like to put themselves into the bag.
yeah,
Not someone
no, that's the
placing
main
them in
thing.
the
Is
bag.
like it has to be the cat's idea. Like.
Yes, exactly. Well, Megan, what is your event
Well-
related to cats?
It is not related to cats. It is related to fruit because I am talking about the peach festivals, the Porter Peach Festival and the Stratford Peach Festival.
Yes.
So the Porter Peach Festival is a 3-day festival, July 17th through the 19th. And then the Stratford Peach Festival is July 19th. So you could go to both peach festivals in one weekend. The Porter Peach Festival, Porter is northeast between Muskogee and Tulsa,
Right.
and Stratford is south central, closer to Pauls Valley. So they're about 2.5 hours apart.
Yes.
if you wanted to drive in the
Bit
same
of a drive,
day.
but 2 peach
Yeah.
festivals in one day.
Yeah.
It is doable.
So the Porter Peach Festival has live music, parade, food trucks, art, tractor pulls, free peaches and ice cream, peach auctions, a game, a pageant for people, not peaches, a 5K, and a catfish dinner. So there's a lot to do at the Porter Peach Festival, and the website for that is porterpeachfestivals.com. That's festivals plural. So
Why did they do it plural?
I
That's
don't know.
interesting.
Probably maybe there's another porterpeachfestival.com. Maybe that's
It could be. Yeah.
I don't know, but so it's porterpeachfestivals.com. And then the Stratford Peach Festival is going to have a car show. They're going to have peach royalty, which is it's a pageant to select, the queen peach or however they do it. And then there's going to be
The Princess Peach, perhaps.
the Peach Idol singing contest. Yeah, Princess Peach, that would be cute. There's going to be the Peach Idol singing contest, concessions. There will be treats for sale. There's going to be a peach cook-off, games, an ugly dog contest,
Sweet.
Okay.
and also a best dressed dog contest. And if you want to know more about the Stratford Festival, you can go on Facebook and search for it. So,
In case you're wondering, dogs can eat peaches. They just can't have the pit.
okay, yeah. So bring your ugly dog to
Your
this
ugly
contest.
and/or well-dressed dog.
Your ugly or well-dressed dog.
Why not both?
Yeah, exactly.
Perhaps your dog can win both prizes.
Yeah, maybe he'll win something for you.
Yes.
Put him to work.
I recommend doing the 5K before the catfish dinner.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
wondering about that.
Otherwise, it might be grotesque.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are there any ugly dogs or catfish dinners at your event, Ben?
No. Well, they're ugly dogs could attend if they wanted to. No one will prevent
Don't
them.
discriminate against unattractive dogs.
Yeah. Did you guys know that the world's largest, there you go, one of Carly's favorites, the world's largest amateur rodeo is in Oklahoma? Did you know this?
Did not know that.
Yes. Do you have a guess of where it takes place? World's largest
feel like I should
amateur
know this.
rodeo.
I would guess Guthrie.
Good
Is it
guess.
Claremore?
It's similar to Guthrie. It's not Claremore. Kirsten, do you have a guess over there?
I don't know. Stillwater.
No, it is Pawhuska.
Oh,
Yes, my
okay.
event this time. It goes the whole week. It's the Cavalcade Rodeo in Pawhuska. Yeah. So this is the best amateur ropers and riders from around the world. They come to Pawhuska for a full week of rodeo activities at the Osage County Fairgrounds there. They've got a whole week of activities, including they do you know how they have like pageant shows at a lot of festivals? Well, they do this, but they have the Queen horsemanship contest. So you've got to like prove your horse skills before you can get the crown. So I think that's interesting. That's on Tuesday. They've also got a day just for kid rodeo events on Thursday, and a whole lot of action throughout the week. But the big draw at the Cavalcade Rodeo is the street dance, the Cavalcade Rodeo Street Dance in Pawhuska. It's a big deal. Back in the day, we don't have street dances really anymore. I guess if you want to dance, you go to a club or something. But back in the day, before electricity in small town Oklahoma, I mean, the big social events were these street dances that they would have. And they keep the tradition alive in Pawhuska with their big free street dance downtown. It's happening this Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. It will be a performance from the Quinn Peterson Band at 8:30 p.m. And that'll be a whole lot of fun. You'll have the music and dancing there right on the streets downtown. But if you can't make that, you can. They do have a full week of concerts at the rodeo, at the fairgrounds also. So you can go to that, but the only difference is that the downtown one is free, and the rodeo ones you have to pay for the rodeo pass. So passes are available at cavalcaderodeo.com, and they range from $11.50 for an individual session to like $33 for a whole day, or about $100 for a event-long pass. So this is going on throughout the whole week in Pawhuska. It's a big time to go and visit one of the biggest tourism towns in the state, really. All right, so you want to do star of the show?
Yes.
Yes.
I cannot wait.
Well, star of the show is, of course, the Aquilops. It has to be. If you can be the star of Jurassic World, then you can be the star of the Oklahoma Today podcast, certainly. I think that's only logical. This is where the camera is right now. Okay, thanks for informing me of that, Chris. Just in time to end the show, as a matter of fact. This is all we've got for you this week. This has been the show known from here to Crescent, home of scoops, cookies, and cones. That's the Oklahoma Today podcast. Head to oklahomatoday.com or pick up our latest issue on newsstands right now. Send your feedback to oktpod@travelok.com. Talk to you again next week.
Goodbye.
Well, goodbye, whichever camera I'm supposed to look at.